Shabbat Shalom from Temple Concord. This week we reach the end of the book of Genesis, and in the final chapters and verses we read of Jacob's and then Joseph's final words to their offspring, and to us in a sense. They are in many ways giving us an ethical will, their belief system, their values, and their blessings. Now sometimes the words aren't so kind and aren't really blessings at all, but in many ways they are, here is the legacy we have provided for you, now go do something with it. In a very real sense, our building represents that same idea, that same kind of legacy. Right now, I'm speaking to you from a place that you probably don't see very often, and you probably don't see me very often, which is the balcony above the social hall. This was, when it was built, an extraordinary space, and it was used to the fullest. There were times when temple dinners had tables up here in the balcony. Now, this is our legacy. This is our inheritance. This is our blessing. We have this extraordinary space, and we still sometimes wrestle with how to use it. Do we preserve it as best we can? Do we leave it alone and hope that it doesn't go into decay too much? Do we honor it? Do we use it? How do we handle that legacy? It's a real challenge for us. We are, after all, almost 180 years old as a synagogue, and in this building it's about 105 years, and times change and needs change, and so we don't use this balcony space as much. But it still remains our legacy, our blessing, the beauty of this space, the grandeur, the joy that these walls have known, the celebrations they've been a part of. And so in a very real sense, if you look around our temple building, you'll understand the words of the Torah portion this Shabbat. We are the inheritors of a rich legacy, a rich tradition, and it is upon us, our generations, to understand how best to use that legacy, to fulfill it as highly as we can, and to pass it on as completely as we can to our children and their children someday after that. So I hope you'll spend time up here and as a part of the legacy of this building in all of its different facets, and looking into how these things came to be, just as we spend time wrestling with the text, trying to understand how that legacy came to be as well. Shabbat services Friday evening will be at 6 o'clock. We'll be in the chapel here at the temple. Saturday morning, text study at 9, Torah study at 10, and services at 11. Sunday, we do not have religious school because it's Martin Luther King weekend, so we hope you'll take the time to go pursue justice and work for equality in our country. Lord knows our country needs all the help we can get, and each of us working to make our country more equal for all is the essence of what Martin Luther King Day is all about, and also what is our Jewish legacy, to make the world more whole. During the week next week, the usual set of activities, classes, all of that. And I hope that over the course of the coming days, you'll wrestle with our legacy as Jacob and Joseph did as they were transmitting their final thoughts to their children. How do you want your legacy to be handled? How do you want it to be viewed? How do you want it to be treasured? And then go to work doing just that, to make sure that our legacy is fulfilled and that the beauty of our past lives on deep into the future. Shabbat Shalom for now. Look forward to seeing you at the temple.